I said he was going to earn back his seat very quickly, which he did.
Yep, and I said that it would be a hard road to it, no matter the speed, and I think that was accurate as well.
Right. I said that they would have fights too.
Yes.
And that Fletcher seemed to be okay with him fighting with him, and I'm like, yeah, that's interesting because, and that's when I went, all right, he's trying to get a talented musician. Oh, we also both called that there was going to be some blunder in a competition.
Yes. Yep, very much so. We both nailed that one.
Although we did not see that it would be a car crash that would cause him.
Neither of us saw that.
You nailed the injury. You said it was going to be an injury.
Absolutely.
So that's a point to you.
That was well telegraphed, I thought. But either way.
Yeah, a lot of blood in this movie.
Yeah, very much so. And none through violence, really.
No. And that was where I think that was more important to me. I said there's nothing violent about this movie. Although he did beat him up. So
yeah, he did tackle him.
So I didn't quite get that right. But I didn't think there was going to be any violence in this movie.
There was almost none.
You and I did not mention
Nicole coming back.
Well, she barely.
But she did.
But that's what I was going to say. Is I thought about it and I went, I don't think she's going to actually have a big part, so I didn't even mention it. So I think by not mentioning it, I think we kind of nailed her plot.
I think we did more service. It would have done more service to that character to never talk to him again than to even take his phone call.
Again, we didn't see this whole going away from the school. I don't think we saw that.
No, I don't think we caught that direction at all, which is fine.
I thought that he was going to get sort of browbeaten enough to where he finally goes, I'm standing up for myself and I'm leaving. So it was a little bit different from that.
But
it was
but
different from that. He got kicked out, for beating up his teacher. You mentioned Machiavelli, but it was well, they both kind of got to it, but I don't really see him. I don't see Neiman as being the Machiavellian one here. He fought fire with fire. It really was Fletcher who did this very underhanded Underwood sort of thing where he goes, yeah, come into the group, and then we'll.
Fletcher did that and absolutely points to you for that. But I disagree.
No, I didn't call that. I didn't call that at all. I'm saying we mentioned Machiavelli, but I did not see it being from Fletcher because Fletcher.
No,
was
it was Neiman's. It was they forced the band by picking up the drums when he did and hitting him when he did. He forced the rest of the band.
Yeah, but I don't see that as Machiavellian. I see that as being like, oh, you're going to be a Machiavelli, I will come back. I will counter that. I don't see that as being
You don't see that as being Machiavellian? As
well,
responding to Machiavellianism with Machiavellianism?
Maybe. I thought it was very clever. I was like, well, that's pretty clever. Fighting fire with fire, that's pretty good.
And Fletcher thrives on conflict.
He does. And that's
fuel for
what I didn't
success.
like about the movie at all. I just went, that doesn't work for me. I don't know. I sort of thought, I think basically the overarching theme of the movie, I think I did get that the movie was going to be like, no, you've got to struggle to become a success, which I still don't really believe, but I think that was the point of the movie.
I think that's a totally valid way to interpret that. Here's how I saw the film. Some people can only succeed through that course. There are different people who can succeed different ways, but some people can only be motivated in that specific way, and that people like Fletcher are there for that type of learner.
And I would counter that because I look at this and I say, what was the thing that actually got this kid to want to come back to drums? It was when Fletcher actually came down and was kind to him. He said, you were the one I thought was good. He said, what was the thing he said? I used that kid as motivation for you.
As a seat
now,
filler.
That was something that he actually said that was positive.
I also think that Fletcher didn't say good job to Neiman. He said, you were the one that had potential, and the reason why I do what I do is this. Speaking of which, there's this thing.
But it was positive.
It was more positive than the rest of what Fletcher said. I don't think that makes it positive affirmation. I'm going to go play a musical instrument until I believe it. So good night, Cinema 52.
I'm going to go find some kindness because I need some detox from that. Goodbye.
Goodbye.